What up, world? What up, everybody? Welcome to episode 63 of the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Very excited to have everybody with us. It's a special day today. I got my girl T with me from KanDo Creations. Definitely a pleasure to have you with us. Looking forward to it. And while we're at it, before I even get started, I gotta put it on the screen. So we'll talk more about this here in just a little bit, but very special to have not only a content creator, but also an actual apparel creator joining us on the sports podcast. Welcome, T. We're definitely happy to have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to a good time because I crack up when I check out a lot of like your weekly updates, talking college football. Very excited to talk that. So definitely shout out to everybody, and I gotta make sure I remember to check out what up Tyron. Speed right on cue. I gotta make sure that I go back to Instagram. So we live on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and then there'll be replays on TikTok, or there'll be highlights on TikTok. There'll be highlights on LinkedIn, Twitter. We all over, and so I got to make sure I hit all the comment sections. And my man Sports Testimony is in the comments already. So definitely a shout out to Tyron. I'm looking forward to when we can get him on, but very, very excited to have everybody joining us on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Let me turn my sound down. So definitely, if you're watching us right now, make sure you share it to a friend because we got a lot of special things to talk about today. So first things first. Again, appreciate you joining us, T. You got the back. It's all right. He's a superstar.
He's not letting me do this by myself.
Look, he gonna be the one that enjoy the spoils of your victory. So it makes sense.
He sure is.
So, all right, let's get started where we always start. So we're called the Fanatic Sports Podcast. Fanatic being a fan is short for fanatic. Fanatic is a synonym of crazy, or as we like to say around here, passionate. And so everybody's passionate about something, and especially sports. So, as I was telling you before, pick any level, high school, college, middle school, you pick, whatever. Any sport, football, baseball, basketball, cricket, whatever. Tell us your favorite team from whatever level and whatever sport, and how you became a fan of that team.
Okay, so I guess I will start with college and work my way up.
Okay.
So if we're starting with college, my team is the Arkansas Razorbacks.
Woo pig.
All day, every day.
Okay, so look, T, I had to hurry and get you back on because I had an LSU Tiger on last week, and look, my man Kenny was great. Loved the show with him, but you got to pick a better school. Come on, man. Listen.
Yes. My mom was born and raised in Arkansas, and I have pretty much all of her siblings are still there. So we go home to Arkansas quite a bit. I had a cousin play in Arkansas, and I also had a really good friend that's like a brother to me. He also played at Arkansas. So I've had a
don't be ashamed.
Focus.
Name drop. Who you got?
I don't like to name drop often, but my very close friend is Keon Hatcher. He is now playing Canadian football. He was the star receiver. He was the leading receiver last season. And Felix Jones is my cousin.
Okay. So we had so I've followed Hatch for quite a while. Very, very special player on and off the field. So makes sense. I totally understand why he's your best friend. And I did definitely check out quite a bit of the content you were doing with Hatch, man. A legend, Arkansas legend, man. So definitely shout out to him, man. I know he and
fun times, man. We had some fun times in Fayetteville.
Yes, indeed. So I'm sorry, I keep interrupting you, but I gotta tell you, I'm excited to have somebody back with the Razor. It was last week. It was cool. Look, Kenny was great. Kenny was great, and we're gonna we're gonna actually gonna see him again. So really dope that we get the opportunity to create this content, which is why, like I said,
together so we can go back and forth.
Yeah, it's 2-on-1, we're jumping.
Yeah.
You go. You got a few. You fan of a few different teams, right?
Yes, and so that's my college team. But I do like all SEC teams besides Bama. I'm trying to get there. I'm trying to get there. And then please stop. And then my NFL team, for a very, very, very long time was the Dallas Cowboys, but I had to go on and let them go. So I am a Buffalo Bills fan now.
Okay.
No one believes me when I tell them. So it is what it is, but I am a Buffalo Bills fan. I go back and forth with my uncles about it. It's fun with us. So, and then I have gotten into the Canadian League because of Keon. So, but of course, my team is the BC Lions. I'm gonna support wherever he's at. So.
Yeah, very good, very good.
Move teams, then I'm gonna move teams. So right now,
we on the bandwagon.
I'm a BC Lions fan.
Okay, so I actually had a friend of mine. Shout out my man Reggie Fish, who played for a good while with the Hamilcats up in the CFL. So kind of familiar with that league a little bit, and really enjoy getting to know some of the players, and some of the rules are very different out there up there, and so that's been interesting as well. But definitely.
Note that this upcoming 2026 season, they are implementing some of like the American football into the Canadian League. So it'll still be Canadian football, but it'll be a little more familiar to American football.
Okay. See, and this is why this is the importance of having you on. Educate us, please.
Yes.
Now your main focus is on college football.
Yes, that is my main focus.
And very, very dope to see that, man. And actually, I don't know if this trend is new, but I know, or maybe I'm just late to the bandwagon. I've been following a ton of different women in football, particularly college football. Actually, shout out to, and they also are Bama fans. Yuck. So, but shout out to my girls at Sports Uncorked. The very, very, not only just entertaining but knowledgeable as well. And so and that kind of led me down this wormhole of finding different content creators that women that talk college football, and then I just started kind of following everyone. I'm a big supporter. Like for me, like this is like I've been in business for a long time, as well as podcasting and broadcasting and things like that. And so I love to watch a business grow. I love to watch a podcast grow. People who become content creators.
So.
Yeah. Gotcha.
I'm learning.
Look, you off to a good start, and so I'll tell you the biggest tip I can give you. I can't give you a lot of information. I'm still learning myself, but one of the things that I learned, I've been in broadcasting like 10 years or so, and what is this, 25? So yeah, like 10 years or so. And so the big thing was like always, if you got an idea, turn on the camera.
Okay.
Put it on wax. So when I first moved to Northwest Arkansas, I started doing music, and that's kind of where a lot of this came into play. I started doing music, and it was like, put it on wax. Don't tell me about your idea before and talk yourself out of the idea before. Mm-hmm. Record it. Get the recording, and then you can go back and look at it, edit it, see if it works, redo it, retake it. Don't be afraid to start over, but turn on the camera. And I'll tell you this story, and then we'll move. Like, so I did sports broadcasting, and then our sports broadcasting led me to creating content, actually producing it was supposed to be like a live. It was going to be a live show where we did. It was kind of like SNL or In Living Color, if those two met, and kind of the urban arts aspect of In Living Color, but like the live show of SNL. Well. We had a group. We were cutting some really great sketches. It was going to be really, really good. And I let one guy who was unhappy with the way the show was going talk the entirety of the cast into saying, and he didn't even say don't do it. He just put one question in the air, which was a seed of doubt. That seed of doubt spread like wildfire. And before I knew it, before I'd ever turned the camera on, we were done working. And so from that point forward, I told myself I'm never, ever, ever, ever. Like if you don't want to do that idea, cool, that's on you. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna turn the camera on. I'm gonna make it happen, one way or the other. My mentor is the same way. He's the reason where I get it from. He's like, man, look, when we were broadcasting, he from down here. He's from Shreveport, so he's from North Louisiana, and he was Cajun at the roots. And so, one thing I can say about him, and he taught me the same thing. Like we're gonna bite down, we're gonna figure it out. And so we'll be broadcasting. Sometimes we be in these little country areas where the internet wasn't as great, and we got to go to backup measures, and you learn to have a plan B and a plan C and different options. But at the end of the day, we turn it on, we record just the same, and then we push out the content to make sure that we provided what we said we provide. And so, like at the end of the day, like I say, whatever you do, you got an idea, don't let nobody talk you out of it, even if it's me. I'm not
gonna let you
do it. Get the job done. Turn the camera on, shoot it, and then if you don't like it after you've shot it, okay, that's fine. We'll move on. But turn the camera on. Do what you say you want to do, and then from there, you'll be able to decide it. But other than that, I mean, and look, you're already doing it. So you're off to a good start. You got your knowledgeable information. You got a lot of people that are already like working with you, and more importantly, like coming to the apparel portion of it is the perfect way for you to, if nothing else. I got to check out some of the work you're doing, like just outstanding work you're doing. So this is perfect. So it's good to put in that work, and so that's the big goal that I always say is make sure you turn on the camera, you put in your work, you do what it is that you want to do, and don't let nobody stop you from doing it. That's for sure. So all right, so let's talk a little bit of college football. We'll start in the conference, in the SEC. Talk to me about some of the teams that have made the playoffs that you were well, before we do that, let's just wrap up the season, right? So this has been a wild year, and as we get further into the portal, the transfer portal,
crazy year.
And I love the chaos of it. I always love the chaos in college football, anyways, because anything can happen any given Saturday. We got to line up our best 11 versus their best 11 and make a play. And that's the beauty of college football, unlike the pros where it's a little more formality. It gets out of hand. But talk about, like, give me just one or two of your best of the season and your worst of the season.
Well, clearly my worst of the season is Arkansas going 2-10. That was pretty bad. That was listen.
It's a hard year.
It's okay, but it is okay. My best of the season for me personally was OU beating Bama. I was really excited about that one just because so many people was just like, oh no, you're wrong, Bama's gonna win. So to be able to go back and be like, so what was that you said? So that was fun for me. That was my highlight. Because I couldn't really brag on Arkansas. I didn't have anything good to say other than, we had Taylor Green at our quarterback. And so, but we weren't winning games, even though we were always one score away from a win. I can't do nothing with that when I'm trying to go back and forth with somebody. So definitely Arkansas going 2-10 and then OU beating Bama. Those were my two highs. My low
gotcha.
and my high.
So for me, it was relatively the same. It's hard to watch your team, and I think probably what hurt the most is when you get so close. And so, like, I'm here in LSU, and so I met Sam Pittman this summer. Fantastic guy. I got to spend time with him and the entire staff. Really, really great staff. So shocking to see how things unfolded, right? But
not to cut you off.
I
feel like what they need to start doing with college football is they really truly need to stop firing coaches mid-season or after a loss. Like, let the coach finish the season and then part ways. That, it does do something to a team. It really does. So I think that they really need to kind of take another step back and think about how they are going about that, because the SEC lost so many coaches and it was all over a span of a couple weeks, and so then it took the focus off of the game and more so of what are these players doing without a coach, or who's going to be the next coach. I personally am happy to have Don't get me started on that. But I was personally happy for him to be there. But I feel like Sam Pittman should have been able to finish the season.
Right. I absolutely agree. And, there was so much speculation. And you know what? So the reason why I met Pittman is because I was following with my cousins. So I've got two cousins. Like I told you, I'm a big fella myself. I'm 6'5". I played offensive line. So Papa was the shortest of three boys at 6'4". And so our grandfather made some big kids. And those big kids made bigger kids. So my aunt, who is a couple years younger than I, has two sons. So the oldest boy, big bro, is Jordan Harris, who is 6'9", 220. And baby bro, the little brother, Jalen, is 6'7", 305. And wow. So yeah, some size.
My younger brother is 6'5", so
good. Yeah. Okay, so you used to big. All right, good.
Yeah. We're not tall in my family.
So we actually we went to visit the U of A and had a blast. It was a good time. Unfortunately, it didn't work out as far as getting everybody to the U of A. And so Jordan and Jalen actually just signed with Appalachian State. And so I was actually about to create some content about that, about their signing day and how good things have been for them going out there. So very excited for that. But in meeting them, they were in limbo as soon as Pittman got fired, because it's like, well, what's going to happen to us?
Yeah.
And so just lots and lots of questions, lots and lots of, uncertainty up in the air. What's going to happen next? Who's going to be the coach? Will we be a fit for who's the coach? Who's going to be the coordinators? Does it work? Lots and lots of things. And, like to your point, when you think about losing people mid-season, the question is, well, what does that do for recruiting? And naturally, literally, every coach is going to say, and every coach came to Jordan and Jalen and said, you sure you want to go there? You don't even know what's going to happen there. We're set. Yeah, and so
it's up in the air. Everybody clueless.
Well, so here's the fun part. So like they also visited Ole Miss, and so the whole time Lane Kiffin's talking all this sweet talk to him, and then
talking about a curveball.
Yeah, and then he comes down here, and so just the fallout from that. So I'm of the mindset. I'm with you. I think that not only do I agree that they need to not fire coaches in the middle season, but if you're going to fire them, you can't even start the process of talking to another coach until after bowl season. Let's get through this championship, because it's not fair. You look at that.
Finish the season. I am all for finish what you started. So if they started the season, they should be allowed to finish the season.
And so Ole Miss was upset and wouldn't even let him finish coaching, which understandable. He doesn't want to coach. You start to question, well, are you going to keep recruiting for Ole Miss, or are you taking your players with you?
So I don't know if you saw College Game Day this past weekend when Nick Saban said when Kirby and all of them started, got the hit, he let them recruit and do everything they needed to do. He said, I just told them, I need you here at this day and this time. They played the game with us, and when it was done, they left. That was
left. Yeah.
So it's possible. It's just
it's very doable. It's bitter.
Still need to stop letting coaches go mid-season. It messes up everything, because everything they worked for in off-season, what they showed us in the spring game, what they showed us in recruiting, they did all of these media days and you did all of this, and then you finish the game, and the next day you don't see them no more.
Well, all right. So I will play a little devil's advocate here. So being close to LSU, I was able to kind of get some insider knowledge. So Ed Ogeron loves LSU. He's from Louisiana. And boy, have I've had some stories told to me about that man. The reason for his leaving was not about him losing games at all. It's just okay. Just trust me, it was some crazy stuff going on behind the scenes. The reason
like when we lost Petrino the
first. That is correct. you picking up what I'm putting down. Yeah. All right. But one of the things that they were concerned about was that obviously he's losing his job, And so now you got to question: are you going to terrorize or tear apart what we've done? Are you going to deter recruiters or recruits from coming? Are you going to cause any division on the team because we want players to stay even though we want you to go? And so there were some questions there, but LSU was loyal enough to say, hey, we know you love the school, but you gotta go. And so they let him finish the season as the coach, and he did. He coached his heart out the last game of the season. I will say that. So respect to Ogeron for sticking around long after they had said. I mean, it was probably another 4 or 5 weeks after they had said, hey, we're not gonna keep you on. And so they let him stay. And so that was very loyal of him and big of him to do so. But you got to question, will a lot of coaches do that? Will they be would they be a man, an upstanding man, and continue, like you said, finish what you started? So with all the movement of coaches, were there any coaching movements that surprised you by chance?
No, because to me personally, I didn't really care about who they got as a coach, because the way I look at it, well, let me take it back. I lied. Okay. I did care about Arkansas because I want to understand why we did not just make Petrino the head coach. But that's another day, another time. But as far as everyone else, I didn't really care, and I still don't really care because, I mean, to me, I need to see you coach a football game. You can tell me everything under the sun about what you're going to do, your recruiting. Like I've seen Silverfield, I believe is his name. I've seen the videos. Yeah. We're all in. We're this, we're that. They're highlighting the recruiting he's done. That's all good. That's all great. Do you know how many coaches we've had that said we're all in? This is the year. I don't want to hear none of that. No. We'll talk about it when y'all kick that ball off in 2026. And we start winning games that's not Alabama A&M and Tulane A&M. When we start winning against Ole Miss, and when we start winning against Auburn and Alabama and OU, when we start getting the wins that matter, then we can say, okay, this was a good hire. Because right now, all I keep hearing is, Arkansas is going to start winning. I'm sorry, but I need to see it. I need to see it. So
you're right on cue. So I go back through my Facebook memories pretty frequently. There's different things that make me laugh. So, but what I was looking through was for the last, it's 25. So for the last at least 10 years, 12 years, I've had about 3 different times where around the same time where it's like, all right, this is the type of coach I want. This is the type of coach we need. All right, I got faith in this coach. I got all these things about coaches. And what's been so frustrating is I go back and I found myself saying at the same time, almost every 5 years, bring me a defensive coach. Bring me a guy who's going to build us a front seven. Bring me, because look at what Alabama did, right? Alabama from 2009, I think he got there in 07. So for nearly 20 years, this man, all he did was bring in 5-star defensive lineman and big-time defensive lineman and big-time defensive linebacker, and then that's what made you bring in the better defensive back. Shout out my man Big Mark. Big Mark, I had a cut about it on our highlight set talking about, and so I was against us hiring Gruden, and he almost kind of sold me on the idea because you need somebody that's gonna in today's game that's gonna come in and be that car salesman and make you not only believe, but also that's going to bring in good talent. Because this game is you can scheme up all you want to, and you can coach up and make all these adjustments all you want, but none of it matters if you ain't got the horses to run. So we got to have some players that's gonna make some plays. And I will give you that Silverfield has come in and he's brought in in-state, high caliber in-state guys back to the fold.
That's great. I don't care about none of that. I want to see you on that football field coaching. That's what I care about. That's what's important to me.
The results are finally what's going to be the thing, and it's good that we as a fan base are getting there, because for a long time Arkansas has, accepted too many moral victories and too many. Hey, we almost won. We all we had.
Almost won. I'm so done with that. All my arguments this season has been, oh, but we were just a field goal away. Oh, we were just finish the game.
Finish the
But
game.
I will say once Pittman left and Petrino came in, they stopped giving up. They would give up about early third quarter, and then it's just like hard to watch the rest of the game. But once Petrino took over, they actually were fighting until that clock hit zero. They didn't stop. They just kept on and kept. We can come back. We got this. So if we can get a team that is not going to just give up because they're down by 20 points and they see that, we can come back and possibly win this game, we just got to keep going. Then we might be getting somewhere. And that may not even have anything to do with the coaching. That might be strictly just the players making a conscious decision we are going to finish this game. Whether we're down 30, we're down 3, we're going to finish this game.
But you know what? Like the coach has to have that, instill that confidence in them that, hey, we may be down, but we ain't out. We can get into and that was essentially that's what cost Pittman his job. Pittman, you look at that Notre Dame game, which I think was the last game he coached. But it was exactly that. There was some adversity, and Pittman, you look at the team just fall apart. People started, or players, I should say, started losing their way, giving up, and you watched us get torched in a place where we could have made some plays. We were 1 or 2 plays away from getting back into it. So, so definitely interested to see. Like you, I mean, look, and I'm so jaded. I've been around the game for so long, watching the Razorbacks almost for so long, and I think that's probably to kind of get back to our worst and best. The worst of the season, if nothing else, is not only us going 2-10, but more importantly, that like I'm sitting here watching LSU, win games that they shouldn't win because they believe in each other and they finish games, they finish championships, they finish with a parade down 3rd Street and not almost stored in the annals of history. And so that's what gets me. And so I wasn't happy that Pittman got fired, but I was happy that we were going to start over and get a fresh start. With a fresh voice in the locker room.
How many more fresh starts do we need before we can get it together?
That's the $1 million question, T.
That's about to start being the question at hand. How many fresh starts is Arkansas going to get before they pull it together?
Well, and I hate to say it because I really don't like to be negative, especially on my podcast content. But I was having a frustrating day, and I read something even more frustrating about the coaching prospects. And I at some point I went off on Yurchek, and I just and Yurchek, Hunter Yurchek, our athletic director, and that's the question I'm starting to ask is, look, man, you've had a couple different hires here that have not worked out for you, and it's time for him to do the same thing and either get me somebody who's going to do the job or find somebody. And look, he's in the heat. He's catching a lot of heat right now as the leader of the college football playoffs, which is where I wanted to go next, is that Yurchek is the leader of that committee that made determinations on, was Notre Dame going to be in? Was Miami going to get in? And there was a lot of different questions, going through the season about who made it, who should have made it, who shouldn't have. And so he's catching even more heat, not just from us as the Razorbacks, but also from the national media, because there were so many questions about should Notre Dame have gotten in, questions about James Madison, questions about Tulane and a couple other teams, these group of 5 teams that did what they were supposed to do, but were they, are they warranted, different things. And so tell me a little bit about your thoughts on the playoffs, the bracket before it gets started this year.
So that's one of the things I'm trying to learn. I'm not really too knowledgeable in the playoffs type thing because I'm trying to learn and understand how they come about with their selections and stuff. But I will say I did not agree with Indiana blowing out Ohio State. Well, they didn't blow them out, but I mean, they won, and they were number 2, and Ohio State was number 1. Ohio State dropped to 2. That doesn't make sense to me. Bama lost. They didn't move in ranking, and they're still in the playoffs. So to me, then that posed my question. Okay, well, everybody else was more so worried about what Miami and whoever else they were. I was worried about why Texas wasn't in it. Why isn't Texas in the playoffs if that's the case? Because if truth be told, if Bama knocks down like they're supposed to because they left, then that does give Texas the leverage to be in the playoffs. So my understanding of what's going on, I'm trying to understand what they look at and what they grade upon versus what actually happened. Because if I'm looking at it, Ohio State shouldn't be number 2, and Bama should not be in the playoffs. Just point blank.
So the fun thing about this is, and you said it. You said, "Hey, I'm new to this. I'm learning." Well, T, I've been following college football since 1994, maybe earlier than that.
That's the year I was born.
Yeah. So I'm 40. I'm old, right? So I've been doing this a long time, and I can tell you through all of this, I don't know what they were looking at. So, and that's kind of the point is that and Yurchek is the leader of the committee, but obviously it was a lot of voting going on. But Yurchek is catching that heat because again, you look at and so I guess when I think about it, if I try to put my foot in their shoe, then I would say that Alabama beat Texas and Vanderbilt, who were both like, I want to say Texas was like 9-3, 10-2, but Alabama had a lot of losses, and so there's a lot of questions there. Yeah, absolutely. And so the question you have to ask yourself is what are we basing this off of? And to be fair,
not only that, because OU and Bama have already played each other in season. OU won. Why are they playing each other again?
Yes.
It makes absolutely no sense. Make it make sense to me because it's not. I think it's just because I don't want Bama in the playoffs. Just solely, I don't want them there. So that I'm just against anything that Bama is on. But we've already seen OU and Bama. We don't need to see it again.
We know exactly what's going to happen.
Got satisfaction out of what happened in season. We don't need to see it in the playoffs.
And it happened again. It's happened for the last 2 times they've met. OU's won.
We keep doing it? We got it. We know what's gonna happen. That's it.
It really is. It's that crazy. And what you're left with is exactly. And to be fair, in defense of the committee and what they're trying to do, they are trying to answer the age-old question that's been going on for probably at least 60 years now. I can go back to, so look, funny story, right? So there's been a lot of talk here in the last year that Arkansas might start claiming the 1977 national championship that was awarded to them by a lesser known publication, right? They were bigger than the Fanatic Sports Podcast, but not by much. And so there's probably like 6 or 7 different media outlets that would host committee voting, and they would talk about which team was best. And that year, the way it shook out was like, I think Oklahoma beat like Arkansas beat Nebraska or Oklahoma, or no, I forgot who Arkansas beat somebody, and then I think Alabama beat Nebraska or something like that. And so the way it all shook out was, I think they ended up giving the championship to Bama, I believe, but one of the media outlets gave it to Arkansas as the 1977 national championship. And so we've been having this debate that you and I are having for 55 years or so. We don't know, even the 64 championship that the Razorbacks, were crowned in the media for, that one was up for debate, and it was a co-championship because there were like 2 or 3 media outlets that gave it, I think, to I want to say it might have been Bama or Ole Miss or somebody, or Nebraska or somebody. There's been questions throughout everything about, for years, what's the best way to go about this? And the playoff is the best way to determine it. However, now we got to determine who's going to get in the playoff. And so we've been fighting this fight for almost a century of who's supposed to be in.
Also, my thing is, BYU, they were ranked going into this game.
Absolutely.
And because they lost, they're out of the playoffs.
Yeah. At 11-2.
None of it makes sense to me. I've tried to get people, with my content I've been doing, I've tried to get them to explain it. I did have one person, I don't know the name, but he was trying to explain it pretty good, and I was starting to follow, and then he just stopped. And I was like, no, come back. I need you to help me out.
Yeah, well, because we've all gotten to that road where you start to ask the questions. So should Virginia be in? No. Then and so here's what I've always said, and I felt this way. So going back into the late '90s, there was called the Bowl computer system, and so the BCS would take, it was an algorithm, almost like AI, and they would take based on your strength of schedule. They laid it all out. The strength of schedule, obviously your wins and losses, the impact of the game, the impact of the person you're playing or the team you're playing. And from there, they would the computer would do the math on who should be 1, 2, and 3. And so then from there, you would get the idea of who. And so a lot of times it was crazy. You would end up getting teams. The number 1 and number 2 team might not even play each other in the same bowl. And then it would have to be, so if the number 1 team lost and the number 2 team won, then there's been madness ever since. And so here's what I've come up with. This is the Fanatics. You know what? We're a media outlet now. The Fanatic Sports Podcast football poll, and I'm going to assign somebody a championship. But here's what I always said. And so as I'm looking at the standings right now, I was always a big proponent of this, because before the Power Four, which is the Southeastern Conference, the Atlantic Coast Conference, the Big 12 Conference, and the Big 10 Conference, those are the Power Four. These are there's 16 teams in each league, a lot of them, and they are, these are the big heavy hitters, so Ohio State, Indiana, Oregon, USC, that's all in the Big 10. The Big 12 has Texas Tech, BYU, Utah. The ACC has Virginia, Miami, Duke, Georgia Tech. And then, of course, we know the SEC. So those are the Power Four. And then there's the group of, I guess, 5 or 6 or something like that. Those are the outside groups. So like the Boise States, the MAC Conference, Western Michigan, Kennesaw State in the Conference USA. Tulane is out of the American Conference. Those teams getting those looks at the so what I always said was that if you want to be a major conference and play for a championship, you need to play for a conference championship. And so then you let your conference team, you let your conference champion enter into a tournament. And so, so the way it would shake out is you look at like the American Conference, right? So Tulane won their conference championship. They beat North Texas in the conference championship. Duke won the conference championship over Virginia. They're in, right? It's kind of like the way basketball does it. College basketball, if you're not the regular season champ, like you're the best team in the regular season, then if you win the conference tournament, then you're in the conference tournament. You're in the national tournament because you won the conference tournament. Does that make sense? Right. So that's what I would propose is that if you want to play for a championship, win your conference. Like, we shouldn't have any questions. Did you win your conference championship, Miami? No. Sorry. Yeah. Alabama, did you win your conference championship? No, you got your butt kicked. What are we doing here? It's really simple.
So then you don't get to play. You shouldn't be playing.
That's it. And so then for Notre Dame, which that's been the talk, which I wanted to get your opinion on that shortly. Notre Dame backed out. They're not even going to a bowl game. They were so upset.
Auburn isn't either. Auburn, I think I noticed because Auburn backed out of their bowl game. And so I was like, okay. So then I started noticing that Notre Dame backed out. I mean, people's calling them crybabies, but I'm gonna tell you, I probably would have backed out too. I'm not even mad. I mean, and because it doesn't, nothing they're doing is making sense. It's almost like it doesn't matter how hard we work during the season. We're still going to do what we want to do with the playoffs. So I don't care. Like they could have beat Texas A&M, and Texas A&M could have been 0-4, and they would have been like, and then they could have won out the rest of the season, and they would have said, oh, well, when you beat them, they were 0-4, so that's not good enough. It's not their fault that they weren't ranked when they beat them. I beat them. That's all that matters.
You did what you lined up against the people that that walked on your field every week, and you won the games you were supposed to win. And so that's why I say, look, we can turn this into you can play whoever you want to play. The strength of schedule could play a difference at the end of the season, but right now.
And they also were saying that you have one of the toughest SEC schedules, for pretty much the whole season. So I feel like they have deserved and they have won the right to not have to play Bama again. Let them play somebody else. We don't need to see Bama yet again.
Yeah, we don't need to see Bama in the playoffs at all. They don't.
I'm done with that. Like let's move on.
It's really simple from that standpoint, and so that was the big thing that I've always wanted is win your conference championship. And I can tell you, so like going into the late 200s or to the late 2000s, not 200, to the late 2000s, we actually saw a lot of teams that didn't have conference championship games, right? For a long time, the Big Ten didn't have a conference championship game, a legitimate set. Hey, this team versus this team coming to meet for a conference championship.
Well, what a lot of the turmoil is coming from when they decided to make the playoffs 12 teams. We should have just left well enough alone and kept it and where it was, because now look at what it has started. It's chaos. That's the only word for it. It's literal chaos. None of it makes sense. Like everything is. It's here, there, and everywhere. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you ask the people that pick the teams to be in the playoffs, they can't even give you an answer. They probably run there like, I honestly don't know. He said it, so I went with it.
I guarantee you that's what happened. And so you just you find yourself in this spot. So the other thing that I always said, and I've said this about Notre Dame for nearly 30 years. Why aren't you in a conference? Get in the conference.
I don't understand that either. And they probably would be in the playoffs if they were in a conference. Definitely. I'm just saying, it's the truth. If they were in a conference, we probably wouldn't even be talking about Notre Dame not being in the playoffs right now. Just join the conference.
And so they're upset because they were, they felt like they deserved to be in over Miami, but it was like, well, you didn't beat Miami. And it's like, well, that was all those weeks ago. True, but
I can't talk too much on the other teams because I do solely focus on the SEC. That is where my passion is. So like when you talk about the other teams, I'm like, I didn't even really pick up on the Indiana and Ohio State until it became this big number 1 and number 2 are playing each other. And that's when I keyed in and I was like, hold on. If number 2 beat number 1, number 1 should not be number 2. Number 1 should be number 4 or 5.
Right. Yeah, they were supposed to drop. They were supposed to drop,
and not just by one number. So
yeah,
so I can't really speak to anything other than the SEC. I mean, everybody else is pitching their fits, and I'm like, whatever. Because, like I said, they wanted Miami in the playoffs, and I'm like, well, y'all want Miami, I want Texas. I don't even like Texas, but they deserve to be there. They beat Texas A&M, who was undefeated, regardless of who they didn't beat and who beat them. They still beat an undefeated SEC team. So therefore, they deserve to be in the playoffs. Period.
There's lots and lots of questions, and so and that's that. And again, so to be fair, that's the chaos that I am a cheerleader for. I am a cheerleader for this kind of foolishness. These debates are what's got eyes on my show now. So I'm all for it. But when you look at the logic of it, you got to question what happened, what's going on. And so I think a lot about that. So let's talk a little bit more about your content, how you got into the apparel creation and the content creation. It like I said, really awesome things. So tell me more about that.
Okay, so we'll start with the apparel. I've been actually trying to do apparel for, I want to say this may be my third or fourth year. My sister could tell you more. I'm one of those people that I will say I want to do something and I will go all in for a good, I give you a good 4 weeks and then I won't do it no more. So, but it became time. I've been into football for a long time, and I really got more into it. I was into it when Felix was at Arkansas, but once Keon got to Arkansas, I kind of got more into it, and I started paying attention again and seeing what's going on. At that time, though, I was focusing more on the NFL, and then I kind of
Okay.
transitioned over. So I've been doing the apparel for a while. I mean, I do. I like to do more of football, but I'll do whatever anybody wants. You just tell me what
Sure.
you want, and I'm gonna make it happen. And if I don't know how, I'm gonna try.
Love that.
And that's finally picking up for me. So that is a great thing for me because I do have little ones to take care of. So that's that. And
Of
then with the
course.
football, I've been trying to do that for a while too. And I do have a cousin. She has always been in my corner with it, as well as my dad. But my cousin has gone as far as you gonna come over here. We gonna take this video and we gonna do this and we gonna do that. She'll call me. What's on the agenda for this week? I haven't heard you say anything. What are you doing? So and then I also debate like with my dad, my grandpa. Like I'm always the one that's sitting there talking about football while everybody else is doing something else. And so and it helps because people see me and they think I don't know what I'm talking about. So they just blow
Mm.
me off like, oh, you don't know what you're talking. But then I start talking and they're like, oh,
Right.
okay.
Right.
Like, oh, I didn't think you knew that. So that's how, but I've always been, football has really been what I've always wanted to do. I just always find an excuse not to do it. But this year I finally was like, no, I'm going to do this. And then also with Keon playing in the Canadian League, I really wanted to learn Canadian football. And their seasons is longer than college and NFL. So I really took the time to sit down and learn, and I started sat watching Keon. I started keeping up with everything that was going on. So I was like, if I can do this for him, I can do this for what I'm really truly passionate about, and that's the SEC. I can do this. I
Right.
just have to really, really zone in and focus. So me getting started really was the first real and actually like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna make this a focus, and I'm like, it's not an I'm not doing it. There's no more I'm not doing this. I'm going to do this. So whether I get 1 view or 1,000 views or 1,000,000 views, this is what I'm doing.
Love that. Absolutely love that. And very, very proud. My dogs are also proud of the work you're doing.
Thank you.
So just a second. Okay. What? Okay. All right. All right. Okay, I got it. So talk a little bit about this was my favorite one. The
Okay.
Shadur jersey shirt. Talk a little bit about that one.
Okay, so this is me just creating and trying to do things, just trying to be different, to kind of build my brand. So because I am so into football, so I had sat down and I said, you know what? I'm gonna make every SEC team T-shirt for myself, and every time I do a video, I'm gonna wear a different one. I don't care if, like, for instance, I chose. I think I had on a different shirt. I want to say I chose maybe Florida to win, but and they were playing Georgia or something, and I chose, the other team, not the shirt I was wearing. So anyway,
Right.
so people bring that up to me when I do talk to certain people. They're like, "But you had on," and I'm like, "That's all a part of the plan. Follow." But when Shador when he had his draft story, I was
Yeah.
just like, obviously all of America was so invested in it. And I mean, look at the shirt I have on. We're gonna go wherever prime time goes. So when prime time leaves Colorado, we're gonna get the shirt for wherever he lands, okay? But no, with that, I just was sitting one day and I was like, to myself, I was like, I really want jerseys for each team, but that's not in my budget right now. So I'm gonna do a shirt. So then I started looking at other things, and I started looking at the team, like the actual apparel for all the teams, and I was like, I can make a jersey. I can do that. And so I just sewed the first one. I thought my sister actually texted me and was like, hey, can you make me some Shador shirt jerseys? And I was like, sure. I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna do it. We're gonna figure this out. And so I did it, and they loved it, and I've sold a couple of them. Hopefully, people start picking up and wanting more. I made myself a DeMar Hamlin one.
I saw that one. Okay.
Yes, I did a DeMar Hamlin, just messing with different textures and stuff. I just wanted to see, I really like that shirt. I've done a Keon shirt. It's not a jersey, but I have done a Keon Hatcher shirt that I wear every game day. I have it in orange, black, and white. So we rotate them out, so it's really how I got into the shirt. I call it my shirt jersey special. How I got into that is just, I try from Thursday to Sunday, I wear nothing but football shirts. That's it.
Gotcha.
Nothing. It doesn't matter the team, if it's NFL, college, it does not matter. I wear strictly football shirts. That's it. And so then I turned it into, okay, my content days are football shirt days is content days, because I'm getting, not only am I promoting my SEC content, but I'm also promoting Candy Creations. So
absolutely.
It all ties into each other.
The business.
Yes, my execution is not the best right now, but hey, the more I do this, the better it's gonna get.
You're doing outstanding. I will tell you that. I would say surprisingly impressed because I was one of the people. I was like, okay, so wait, is she a Florida fan and then I actually went into the bio and I saw the Woo Pig and I was like, oh, okay, all right, so she is an Arkansas fan.
Yes.
And I was like, you got to be an Arkansas fan because she keep talking about Arkansas. Nobody else cares about us but us. There's a lot of people in the state don't care about us, but look, I get it. But like I definitely appreciate the work. And I want to announce this, as we talked about before. I'm very excited about our fantasy football league, the Fanatic Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League, where I guess I gotta say it. My co-host, the Angry Puerto Rican, Anthony Roman, did win the regular season, and I think he's either 10-3 or 11-2, something like that. So. Yeah. He picked a deep team that took off in the late runnings, and he snuck by on a couple early wins, and then after that he kind of took off. So very, very excited about what we're doing for. Oh, okay. Why is that happening? There it is. Got it. The Fanatic Sports Podcast will be hosting January the 4th. Our Fantasy Football League Championship game will be at Sassy's Bar and Grill in Fayetteville, Arkansas. And so absolutely, you're more than welcome to come out if you like, T. We'd love to have you. I know it's a short 2-hour drive from Tulsa, where I spent more time than I should have over in Tulsa. But definitely, would definitely love to have you out. But most importantly, we're going to celebrate the champion, whoever that is, right? Whoever gets through the tournament. It won't be me. Commissioners don't win. But more than we're going to celebrate the champion, we're going to celebrate the loser. Okay? The last place team has to wear this shirt. And we're proud to announce that Candy Creations will be the shirt maker for whoever got booty blasted in the Fanatic Sports Podcast Fantasy Football League. And so to repeat for those who are new to our network, if you were the last team, which I believe there's going to be a tie, but if you were the worst team in our league, you are going to get one of these shirts from Candy Creations, and you got to wear it around town for the day. And so we'll reveal who will be wearing these shirts soon. But they will. I know one of them is going to be wearing the shirt at the Fan Fest in January. So looking forward to getting back home, being around my people, and so. I already know that we'll have a lot of our key contributors that come on the show frequently. And more importantly, coming on the show, that we get the chance to talk. So like, and that was one of the reasons why I was hyped to get you on the show, is because we've chatted for a few weeks just talking about some of your content about the Razorbacks and about sports, and don't sell yourself short, please. I know you're pretty new, but don't sell yourself short. Like you are a very knowledgeable ball talker and ball knower, and so definitely proud to have you on the show. So before we go, make sure if you're a sports fan, and I presume if you're watching this show, you are. And if you're not a sports fan, it's still a good idea to contact KanDo Creations. She's a very talented apparel creator, and great to listen to her talking ball as well. But we do got to get you talking basketball too. I know we're gonna. Stay tuned. So, but anything you want to share or plug before we roll?
No, I mean, just check out my Instagram at KanDo Creations 3. I'm always open. If you have a apparel, t-shirt, sweatsuit, anything that you have an idea about that you may want to see come to life, shoot me a DM. I'm always here.
Well, we certainly appreciate it again. It's definitely a pleasure to get the chance to rap with you.
Them playoffs to me, shoot me a DM. I want to hear it.
Child, listen.
About the playoffs. And then
I
Rexy.
I promise you, your son probably got a better explanation than anybody else. I can guarantee it. This foolishness has been going, like I said, it's been going on for half a century. So we've been fighting this fight for a while. So I'm not even shocked at what happens. But we'll definitely be in touch. I'll get with you about as far as getting the sizes of the shirt. I know I need one. I need a 5X. I wasn't the worst in the league, everyone. I think I finished 4th. But we definitely gonna. I'm getting one because I'm proud of the shirt. But we definitely looking forward to.
Thank you for having me on here. This was actually my first podcast, and I had a good time. So thank
congratulations.
You for
very good.
me to do this.
Oh, we'll do it again very soon.
Yes,
we'll do it again very soon. But for T and all my co-hosts, the podcast Fantasy League as a whole, and for my dogs as well, we appreciate everybody joining us on the Fanatic Sports Podcast. And as I always say, tough times don't last, y'all. Tough people do. Thank y'all for watching the Fanatic Sports Podcast.
Thank you.